soft spoken is really relaxing for, especially those with deeper voices. I tend to find their soft spoken to be soothing, whereas with the females and more mid to higher ranged male voices, I can find whispering to be pretty relaxing. So, really, it's kind of just a case-by-case basis for me, and I feel like that might be how it is for a lot of people. So, I hope by having a full video where I whisper and a full video where I'm consistently using soft-spoken, you guys can really get a feel for whether you prefer my soft-spoken voice or my whispering. But that's enough preamble. Let's get to the video. Like before, I'm gonna actually start with a newer trigger that's also a bit of a sneak peek for another ASMR video I've been working on and planning out, which is Lovecraftian ASMR. See, me personally, I love everything H.P. Lovecraft, as far as aesthetics goes, as far as storytelling goes. The games tend to be Lovecraftian in nature, including tabletop games like Call of Cthulhu. I'm a huge fan of Lovecraftian storytelling, Lovecraftian mythos. I find it all very fascinating. So, for me, I'm personally planning to do some more stuff with Lovecraftian lore. So, one of my next videos I've got planned, like I said, it's going to be Lovecrafting themed. I've got lots of various Lovecrafting things, but I want it to be a bit more, how do I put it? Production value. I'm planning on doing more editing type stuff with it, editing out the background and actually like trying to do something with it. For now, I'm just using the green screen to basically just create a pitch black background, so that if you were playing this on your monitor or your TV, oh, that's nice right there, or your phone, that it will not darken, or it will darken the room so that it's easier to fall asleep without bright lights and stuff. But I want to do some more production value things, like making a script and having a general storyline to the video. So I'm very excited for that, but it's probably not going to come out for a few weeks at least. But yeah, this is kind of a nice sneak peek. So let's try tapping on the pages himself. And since this is a bit more experimental, I'm going to put this at the beginning of the video, once again, so people can skip it and get to the good stuff if they want. Because, like I said, I want to make sure you guys can get the value you guys need out of the video. That's why I make each individual section longer as well, so that if there's a specific sound that you really like, you can get a lot out of it. Because for me personally, watching tapping videos where they have like a 30-minute video, but there's 20 items they're switching between, it's like, by the time sections like this. So that's how I'm going to structure my ASMR videos. And if they're in a format that I know I prefer, then I'm sure there's going to be other people that are in the similar boat that like having more dedicated sections than lots of small ones. So that's kind of where my stance on all this is. So yeah. I also did a really experimental video in that I recorded it on my phone actually. It was me walking in the rain with an umbrella, but about 10 minutes in, the rain stopped, of course. So it was essentially just me talking for the whole time, and I don't know if it's going to be relaxing enough for people to want to watch it, so I may upload it because it was kind of a nice just chat that I basically had for the whole video, but I don't know if it's going to be relaxing, so I'll probably release it next week after I download it to my computer and do some editing, but I'll release a song alongside my regularly scheduled ASMR so that you guys are still getting good ASMR that I'm confident you'll enjoy alongside it, just to be safe. So yeah, look forward to that. Or don't. Do what you want. So, this was the HP Lovecraft collection book. On to the next trigger. We're going to be doing it in a little bit different of an order than usual. I heard your feedback about liking the, fingertip over fingernail, so we're going with that. But, yeah, next is my Himiko Toga wallet. Speaking of, I've been watching season 7 of My Hero. That's been coming out weekly in dub specifically. I think both are good. I've listened to like the first 4 seasons of the series in both, but I vastly prefer the dub. I just think a lot of the characters fit better personally. characters, and these are like actors, so they physically see them and know what they look like, and can go and do crazy things like stalking them and tracking them down and stuff like that. But I still don't judge those shows based off of the fan base and what a minor, but admittedly loud group of fans have done. So I don't think it's fair to do that for My Hero. So, yeah. But the show is very close to me because when I was going through some really bad mental stuff and nothing was really giving me joy or making me feel hopeful for my future, I put the show on a whim, an entire whim. I was like, you know what, screw it, what's the worst that can happen? And by the first episode, I was like, this is okay, but like, I'm not really sucked in yet. But there's a moment in the second episode, and if you've seen their show, you probably know what I'm talking about. But the second that moment played on the screen, I was forever hooked and basically convinced to watch all the show would ever have of that one scene. It affected me that deeply. It was truly magical, and that show has genuinely been a really positive impact on my life. Because, you know, nowadays with anime, there's kind of this trend of some of the newer shows, at least shonen-wise, of having a really depressing or dark story without a lot of bright spots. You know, Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man, Attack on Titan, 3 of the most popular recent shonen, have had really darker tones and, you know, not a lot of happiness for the main characters or the world overall and them, you know. And, you know, if that's what people like nowadays, it's fine, but I watch shonen and anime in general because I kind of like to feel good, you know, and those shows can really kind of make you feel depressed after watching them for a bit. And like, don't get me wrong, I watch JJK with one of my good friends weekly. We would watch the episodes together, and it was amazing. But him and I both kept having moments where we were like, oh, come on, can't you give the X character a break, or this is depressing, or, you know, so many moments like that would come up. And it's like, with My Hero, I mean, there are some darker stuff that happened later in the series, but again, I'm not going to spoil it. But even the darker toned stuff still has positive messages embedded into the fiber of the series that shine through those darker toned things. So, yeah. Anywho, My Hero gave me the motivation I need to try to improve my life and help me get through a rough patch mentally. So, yeah. Anyways, that was a bit deep, but on to the next item. I'm kind of realizing as I'm doing this that I did a you know, nose talking tapping video, and it was honestly a lot more difficult for me to record long sections that were, you know, dedicated to just tapping, because like I mentioned before, I want to make sure each item gets not seem like it, but it's actually a really good and actually physically tough to tap this long, because my wrist and fingers get really tired, especially because today I was very busy. I was doing some physical stuff for most of the day, but I'm already a bit behind on when I would have liked to have been able to record this, and I was not going to wait an extra day to record this and push the upload back another day. So I'm a little bit tired, but I think I'm still capable of good tapping and stuff. But yeah, it was my niece's 9th birthday party, and so I was doing a bit of babysitting-esque work, playing with the kids, running around with them, picking them up for piggyback rides, or doing the thing where for some reason kids love, where you just pick them up and put them over your head, and then you put them back down, and then you pick them up, and then you put them back down, and you just keep picking them up. So my arms are actually kind of tired from that. And while we're on the topic of kind of deeper stuff from the My Hero discussion, another thing I noticed was, for me, I don't have the mental stamina I used to. In that before, when I was like a teenager, early adult, I would love kids and would be able to, entertain kids, play tag, play hide and seek, chat with them, just keep them entertained for hours and hours with not getting tired, and I loved it. But as I'm getting older, my mental energy for that kind of stuff has weirdly enough gotten lower, to the point where it takes a lot of mental energy for me to prepare whenever I'm gonna go do that, to the point where I would even, sadly to say, dread it sometimes, which is unfair for the kids. And to be fair, even if I mentally am not excited for it, I still will give off the appearance that, I'm happy to be there for the kids, because I don't want them to feel bad about it. But I noticed something today that was really cool. I was just putting a lot of effort into appearing to be a really happy, playful, and having fun with the kids and playing all these games, and I was really making sure to laugh and, joke around and just putting in 110% effort to play and, make sure that her birthday party was enjoyable. And I noticed that in doing that, I actually started to have fun. That I was getting so committed to putting on the appearance almost of having fun that it manifested itself. And I think there's probably some deep psychological stuff going on with that. But in the future, I really hope I can continue to do that, because I really want to make sure that those kids get to have as good of a child as they can. And I don't interact with them that often, so I want to make sure that whenever I do, it's always a really positive experience for them, so that, what little bit I can do to contribute to them being happy, I'm doing, just the idea of it is kind of cool, you know, trying to see what kind of people you end up raising and how they might impact the world and stuff. So, you know, from that perspective, I do get it. I really do. I don't know if kids are something in my future, personally. It's gonna be a lot of that is up to my partner, but, you know, I'm kind of 50-50 at the moment, so we'll see what cards are in the future for me. So, yep, that's this trigger, and on to the next one. You know, I don't really know if I need to do those little showcases for items I've already been tapping repeatedly, but I don't know. It's kind of fun, so let me know what you think about it. It doesn't take too much effort to do either, so you know, I figure, why not? So, this is my work journal, and on the topic of work, it's kind of funny. As of the time of recording this, the next week will be the week of the 4th of July, and so we're open Monday through Friday, and then on Saturdays we're open for like 4 hours, and we're getting Thursday of the 4th off, and we're getting the Saturday off, but we're not getting the Friday off, so it's really weird that we're basically gonna go to work on Friday. It's in the middle of almost like a dead zone, you know, and because of my line of work, Fridays are always the slowest day to begin with. Like, statistically speaking, we get probably half the business we get on any other day of the week. And B, it's the Friday of the 4th of July, where most people get Thursday and Friday off as like a floating holiday type of thing, and will be up at their cabins or, you know, going up north and doing all these fun activities. So they're not gonna be going into anywhere basically. So I almost can guarantee that the company is basically gonna lose money by having the doors open, because, you know, we're gonna get no sales, and we're still gonna have to pay everybody, you know, that shows up to work. So it's gonna be kind of interesting, and I'm hoping that they just give us the holiday off, because it's so silly to have to go into work just to do nothing, and then potentially be, you know, sitting around on the clock, looking at our phone or something, you know. But, you know, it is what it is. Aside from that, you know, work's been good. It's been fun, kind of learning stuff. So, without going into too many direct details, I work for a building products company, so we sell items to contractors. So, you know, we'll get items from vendors directly and then sell them to the contractors who wouldn't be able to, you know, necessarily go up to all these different item vendors and order in the scale that we do. So we help the contractors out with that. And I am inside sales, is what the position is called. So warehouse on their forklifts and find the items on the orders that I type up and bring them out to the customers' vehicles. But I've been starting to learn where lots of the really common stuff in the warehouse are, so that I can help the will call guys, not have to make as many trips, especially if we're really busy, because their job is really taxing, physically, but also mentally, because, there will inevitably be times where something on the order isn't right, either because the customer didn't know what they want, but then when they saw the item, they knew that's not what they needed, and were then able to describe it to the will call guys, and then they go get the right thing. Or sometimes they have not very good English, so they don't realize what they're ordering, or sometimes, we make a mistake inside and misunderstand or mistype what they're getting. It inevitably can happen where mistakes can come up. It is, our job to make sure that we're doing everything we can to minimize mistakes happening. So doing things like repeating the items in the order back to the customer before we give it to the local guys can go a really long way. But sometimes, stuff like that happens. And a lot of times, even when stuff gets wrong on their orders, the customers can get pretty upset about it. And so many times, it's not at all the fault of the will call people. They're just bringing the customer their items, but they can get yelled at and get, sort of the brunt of the frustration of the customer. So, not only is their job physically very demanding, because they're constantly, doing stuff in a warehouse, picking up items, sometimes really heavy items, all day. But then mentally, it can be taxing too, because sometimes the items are wrong, or sometimes, we get really backed up, and a customer has to wait like 30 or 40 minutes to get their item. And even though whenever we're backed up at the front desk, we always tell them that we're backed up, and that it might be longer than usual to get their stuff. Sometimes, they're still very mad. They get a lot of unfair aggression or, negativity hurled in their direction. So, whatever I can do to help, I'm trying to learn. So, being the one to bring customers out their items whenever I can, so that A, they don't have to wait as long, and B, if they are upset for whatever reason, I can take some of that, because, my job is physically not taxing at all, but mentally it is. But, you get kind of used to it with a lot of the customers, because you can kind of tell who's gonna be short with you if you do something wrong, and mentally prepare yourself. But with, people that are at the vehicles, you have no idea, they have no idea what to expect, especially if they didn't see how the person was acting when they were placing the order. So, anywho, long story short, I'm learning where a lot of stuff is in the warehouse so that I can start bringing orders out to them. I can't do a lot of the really complex or big orders because those require a forklift, and I'm not forklift certified. But, if they need like 4 or 5 kitchen vents, or, tubes of caulking or nails or paint, stuff like that, that's stuff I can easily, carry by hand out to this. So, hopefully you've enjoyed this. I'm actually going out of my way to try to talk more so we can really get a feel for, if you guys like my whispering. And if, you don't, please let me know. Alright. That's enough of this. Usually, I finish with this, or start with this item. So, I thought today we'd finish with it. I think it's one of the better items for tapping, to be completely honest. So, if not, the best. So, yeah. Anyway, it's a boxing glove. So, naturally, the question might arise, why do I have it? Do I have a box? And the answer is mostly no. A while ago, I got it alongside a punching bag because I just thought it'd be a really good and healthy way to, channel negative energy. Just, if I'm having a rough day mentally, just put on some gloves and start punching a punching bag, But we never really had a good spot in my house to hook it up without it just falling repeatedly. So I didn't use it a lot. But one of my friends from high school is actually a really good boxer. And has done fights and stuff. Boxing fights. So they were actually willing to kind of give me a couple hours of free lessons, and it was actually pretty insightful stuff. The reason that was brought up, and why I asked them if they could do that, was because I was going to a social gathering between online D&D buds that I've been playing D&D with for years now, like 10 plus years type of thing. And we decided we were going to meet up in person and hang out, play video games, play D&D in person, And one of them, who is also somebody who lives in the same state as me, is like, a friend I have in real life before the group. And that's how they got added to the group after we lost a player. But anyways, he threw around the idea of him bringing his boxing glove, or I don't know if they call them boxing glove, but like those red gloves and the head guard and chest pads and mouth guards, and having us, whoever wants to, just having some fun, boxing. So I wanted to get some lessons before I went up, so I wouldn't be, making a complete fool of myself. Only a majority fool. But yeah. So I got the lessons. The only person willing to box with me was my friend from my state, and he's like triple my weight, or he was, anyways. So and he wasn't really going all out, because if he did, he'd probably kill me, So, but we both had fun with it still. He went maybe like 4 out of 10, We got some punches in. I got to do a cool ninja flip when he punched me, and I fell backwards, and then I rolled on up onto my feet and jumped back into the fight. So that was kind of cool. But other than that, it was pretty fun. So, and aside from that, I've not used any sort of boxing glove sure at some point a fight will happen physically between me and someone else, but like in those kind of situations, I imagine rather than punching, my strategy will be restraining, because I used to be really good at wrestling and stuff. Well, as far as the casuals are concerned, I never did wrestling for, a sport through my school. So, but out of all my friends that I would wrestle with, the only person I'd ever lose to, and to be fair, I only wrestled them once, but I had a 0% chance at beating, was my buddy who was on the varsity wrestling team. So, I don't feel too bad about that. And then my older brother I would lose to too, but he had 5 years in me, so again, I don't feel too bad about that. Otherwise, I'd even beaten like 2 of my friends wrestling me like 2-on-1 and beat them both, which felt pretty good. So, especially because I wasn't, and I'm still not a very big dude. I'm like 5'8", 5'9", somewhere around there. And at the moment, I'm 125 pounds, but in high school, when I wrestled the most before my medical stuff happened, I was like 80 pounds and like 5'5". So, like, actually, no, I would think I was probably closer to like 5'2", 5'3", now that I think about it. So, I was a small dude. But yeah, I was always really good at wrestling and pinning people down and stuff. So, if I were in a physical altercation where someone is swinging at me, I feel like I would probably go to restrain them rather than go to beat them up, until they calm down or, something changes. Worst case scenario, they give up trying to struggle, or they tire themselves out trying to break free type of thing. But yeah, so to be completely honest, I haven't really been doing a good job keeping track of how long I've been tapping on this item. Normally, I look at my timer when I start and kind of mentally gauge whether or not I think enough time's passed, but I didn't do that, so I'm probably gonna make this extra long to be safe. Watch me go to the effort of attempting to make this longer in my head, only for it still to be the shortest section. So, yeah. That group I've been telling you about, it's kind of funny too. I think I was probably like 16, 17, somewhere on there when we started gaming together online. And one of the people in the group, I had no idea of it until several years after we'd already been playing together. But he was actually 12 at the time. But, he had already hit puberty, so his voice was actually deeper than mine because I was a late bloomer. And even still, after puberty, my voice isn't all too deep. So, he just sounded older than me even, so I never questioned it. And how was he even making, inappropriate jokes at times? Like sexually charged, like homosexual jokes, that kind of thing. And the whole time, I never realized that he was like 5 years younger than me. So, I thought it was kind of funny finding that out later. And the fact that he was not at all put off by it. And he's like, yeah, whatever. You guys are kind of weird, but, you guys are good at playing D&D. So, I like to hang out with you guys. It's kind of funny. So, yeah. That was on me because I was the organizer that made the poll to, story short, on Roll20, the virtual tabletop we played on, you could create games and post on forums to find players. So I was the DM, so I was vetting, and I didn't do a good enough job vetting him apparently. But I'm glad I didn't, because if I'd known he was 12, my instincts might have said, I don't know, I don't really want to play with somebody that young. They're gonna be immature, and might not, blah 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 type of thing. But he's actually a lot of fun to play with, and he's continued to get better over the years. And to be honest, the group that I had for playing D&D with him was pretty much perfect for many, 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 many years. We don't play as consistently anymore because life has come up a lot more for a lot of us. A lot of us just aren't as free to run a game anymore, especially because the one that was running a game had kids now. So, but yeah, still a great group. I love playing D&D with them. We always have a lot of fun, and it's always a lot of role playing that can happen too, which is kind of nice. But yeah, we met up in person and fun. That was fun. So my plan right now is to go to another probably 2 or 3 minutes. Just be safe, because I didn't see where I was at when I started tapping this time-wise, and I want to go at least 8 minutes on this item. So I'm going till the 48-minute mark. So I believe what that means is this will probably be like a 12-minute section, which good, because I think it's the best item, probably. So but thank you guys for a lot of really nice comments. A lot of you have been saying that I have a good knack for this, and that kind of stuff, and I really appreciate it, because there's so many amazing ASMR artists out there, and it can be a bit intimidating trying to go and put yourself into a pool as saturated with talent as this one is. So the nice comments do really help, motivate me and inspire me to keep making stuff for you guys. So thank you, truly, because ASMR is something very dear to me, because I'm very much an audio-based person. I get a lot out of sounds. Sound design in movies and games and shows does a lot for me, and so naturally I had a high proclivity to enjoying ASMR stuff. So, and I've basically been doing ASMR my whole life, because I'll just passively tap on things all the time. So it feels like a natural fit for me to do ASMR stuff. But that doesn't necessarily mean that just because you've done something a lot that you'll be good at it. So you guys saying that you think I'm doing a good job is appreciated. So and I know this is a really weird channel, with me doing video games and ASMR, and I'm working on a video essay for The Last Remnant, actually. So there's another little teaser for you guys, but I also want to do some covers at some point, and I need to get back into making D&D content and try making a video too of D&D stuff. But yeah, this is kind of a weird channel, I get that. So if you guys work on ourselves, you know, get more discipline, be healthier, practice skills that are useful that we don't know, stuff like that, you know. Oh, and I've already gone almost 2 minutes, well, 2 minutes over how long I said I was going to go this section, but you know, it's probably not obvious because in my gameplay videos I don't talk as much, but I can really talk on and on and on and on if you let me. So, if anything, this will show just how much restraint I have, because when I'm playing video game stuff, for a lot of the scenes and stuff happening, I don't like to talk over it. I like to let the game speak for itself, you know. So, anyways, that's gonna do it for this video. Next week, you can expect a soft-spoken video like this. And if I get around to it and or feel comfortable doing it, a weird video of me walking outside on my phone in the rain for like 10 minutes, hitting an umbrella, and then just chatting for the whole time. Kind of like how I did this video. And so, I might end up uploading that next week, but we'll see what happens. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. Look forward to my last remnant video essay I'm working on. Look forward to the Lovecraftian video I'm working on. Yeah. Look forward to my Resident Evil playthrough continuing. And the conclusion of Still Wakes the Deep. And the, for now, conclusion of Content Warning, as well as I did a recording session with some buds for Lethal Company. Not sure if we played in long enough for me to make videos on it. We'll see how it goes, but I might upload some of those. But, yeah. Thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. Hope you've enjoyed this Midwest goodbye, as we sometimes call it up here, where we say goodbye and then we talk for like 20 minutes anyways, so, and we never end up saying goodbye, but this is goodbye for realsies. So, until next time, stay healthy, and please treat yourself kindly. Get some rest, relaxation,